Most men spend their whole lives chasing women, trying to impress them, trying to say all the right things. But what if I told you? The real power lies in understanding the hidden weaknesses that women never want you to know about. Not the obvious stuff. I'm talking about the subtle psychological pressure points that, once you understand them, flip the dynamic. Because here's the truth. Every woman, no matter how confident, attractive, or independent she looks, has soft spots. And once you learn how to spot them, you stop chasing and they start noticing. Look, this isn't about playing games. This is about understanding female psychology so that you stop making the same mistakes that push women away without even realizing it. When you know what makes a woman tick beneath the surface, what she hides, even from herself, you gain a level of control and confidence most guys never even dream of. In this video, I'm going to break down 7 hidden weaknesses that women have, and how you can use this knowledge not just to attract them, but to hold their interest long term. This isn't about manipulation. It's about awareness. And I promise you, once you hear number 4, you'll start to see things differently forever. Never assume women don't have weaknesses just because they're good at hiding them. Most men walk around clueless, trying to figure out why they're constantly confused, ghosted, or misled. And it's not always because she's heartless. The truth? She has pressure points, psychological blind spots, emotional triggers. You just haven't been taught what they are. But once you know them, once you know where the cracks are, you stop being confused. You stop overgiving, overchasing, or trying to decode mixed signals. You gain the upper hand without being toxic. And she starts seeing you as someone she can't play. Here's what most guys don't get. Women don't just respond to charm, looks, or even money. They respond to control, not in a manipulative way, but in how well you can handle yourself in the face of their hidden vulnerabilities. If you can't see those weaknesses, you'll fall right into the traps she doesn't even know she's setting. And that's where everything flips. You'll get breadcrumbed. She'll hot and cold you. You'll stay chasing while she pulls further away. But if you understand her soft spots, the stuff that messes with her sense of control, you won't just attract her, you'll shake her. Let's break this down in a real-world way. Think about a woman who seems super confident, always posting on social media, tons of guys in her DMs. To most men, she looks untouchable. But here's what they don't see. That same woman will stay up at night, wondering why the one guy who didn't chase her like the others suddenly stopped replying. That's her first weakness, needing constant validation. She might pretend she's over you, but the silence you give her speaks way louder than anything you could say. Because while she's used to controlling attention, she's not used to losing it. And when you take it away with calm detachment, it messes with her identity. Another one, emotional unpredictability. A lot of women, not all, but a lot, are drawn to emotional highs and lows. Not because they want drama, but because those intense feelings simulate connection. If you're always predictable, always nice, always available, she stops feeling anything. But if you can keep her guessing in a way that's controlled, not toxic, that roller coaster keeps her hooked. That doesn't mean you ghost her or play games. It means you pull back when she expects you to chase, and you respond with calm indifference when she tries to provoke a reaction. That stillness, that quiet confidence, that's what rattles her. Here's something most men overlook: a woman's fear of being replaced. She might act like she's the one with all the options, like she's not afraid to lose you. But deep down, many women fear being outcompeted. The moment she thinks another woman has your attention, or that you've moved on and stopped caring, she feels it. That's why some women suddenly hit you up again, right after you post a picture with another girl, or after you go quiet. It's not coincidence. It's biology mixed with insecurity. And it's one of the deepest weaknesses they try to bury under confidence. But when you move like a man who has options, not by bragging, but by showing, she starts questioning herself. Now, this isn't about trying to exploit anyone. It's about understanding the hidden dynamics that most people never talk about, because you can't protect yourself from what you don't see. These hidden weaknesses aren't things women will admit. Hell, most of them don't even realize it's happening. But when you look closely, you'll start to see the patterns in how they test you, how they respond to your silence, how their energy shifts when you stop chasing. These patterns are everywhere, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. A huge blind spot that almost no one talks about is how much women crave emotional security, but test men by threatening it. Sounds backward, right? But it's real. A woman might pick a fight, go cold, or say something that makes you second guess where you stand. Not because she wants to leave, but because she wants to see if you will. These aren't just mood swings. These are subconscious loyalty checks. And if you react emotionally, if you blow up, beg, or get visibly shaken, she doesn't feel safer. She feels like she's in control. That kills attraction. But if you keep your cool and show that you're not fazed by the chaos, something strange happens. She relaxes. That strength calms her, and now she sees you as someone she can trust on a deeper level. Another hidden weakness that gets overlooked: their deep need for a man who won't pedestalize them. Yeah, she might act like she wants to be adored. The compliments, the sweet texts, the constant attention. But once you start acting like she's above you, once you give too much too fast, it starts to chip away at her respect. She might enjoy the attention for a moment, but long term, she loses interest. Women are drawn to men they admire, not men who beg for their approval. If you treat her like she's the prize while forgetting that you are too, you'll start to feel her pulling back. Not because you did something wrong, but because you gave too much power away. Here's the irony. The more you try to prove your worth, the less she values it. And that's another weakness: the inability to appreciate what's easily given. It's not her fault. It's human nature. We're wired to chase what feels rare. So if you're too available, too eager, too quick to please, she doesn't have time to want you. She's still processing your last message when you're already double texting. And even though she might never say it, she'll feel it. She'll start to label you as needy, even if your heart was in the right place. This is where a lot of good guys mess up. They think love is about showing you care, but real attraction, it's about space. It's about mystery. It's about making her earn your attention so that when you give it, it actually means something. Let me make this clear. When I talk about a woman's hidden weaknesses, I'm not saying she's fragile. I'm saying her behavior is often influenced by invisible pressures she may not even understand. Social media, past trauma, attachment styles, peer pressure. All of these things create internal contradictions. She wants a man who's kind but not weak, who cares but doesn't chase, who shows love but keeps his own life first. These mixed signals don't mean she's playing games. They're signs that even she is confused. And that confusion, that's where the opportunity lies. If you can stay centered while she tests, panics, or pulls away, you become the one thing she wasn't prepared for: stability. Let's take a common situation. You're dating a woman who's giving you mixed signals. One day she's all over you, the next she's distant. Most guys get frustrated and push harder. Big mistake. What she's really doing is subconsciously trying to see if you'll stay cool. If you do, if you don't try to chase the high of her attention, she starts to see you differently. You're not like the others. You don't need her to feel secure. And that's rare. That's powerful. You become the man who flips the script. Instead of you trying to win her, she starts trying to win you. And this flip only happens when you learn how to read her unspoken fears, those quiet insecurities. She hides under confidence. Now here's the thing. A lot of women will never say this out loud. They won't admit that deep down they're afraid of being emotionally outmatched, that they secretly want a man who challenges them, not just pleases them, but you can see it in the way they test limits, how they react when you set boundaries, and what they do when you stop chasing. The moment you stop acting like every other guy, the one who's desperate for attention, and start acting like a man who's in control of himself, her energy shifts. She can't help it. Because women are emotional readers. They pick up on vibe more than words. If your energy says, I like you, but I don't need you, that hits way harder than any pickup line ever could. One of the most underrated weaknesses that women have, and again, most won't even realize this themselves, is their sensitivity to a man's indifference. It's not just that it bothers them, it haunts them. When a woman feels ignored by a man she's emotionally curious about, it triggers something primal. It makes her question her worth, her attractiveness, and her power. And what happens when someone questions their own value? They chase validation. Chase. That's why some women will start reaching out more when you go quiet. Not because they're suddenly in love, but because they hate the uncertainty. That silent space you create doesn't just give you power. It creates pressure. And that pressure makes her invest emotionally. See, a woman might act like she doesn't care. She might post a story with another guy or say something passive-aggressive. But underneath all that, she's watching how you react. And if you don't budge, if you keep your cool like none of it phases you, you throw her into emotional confusion. She expected control. She expected you to fall in line. But now she's unsure. And that uncertainty is addictive. That's when she starts looking for signs that you care. She replays conversations, checks who viewed her stories, asks herself why you're so calm. That's the moment you go from being just another guy to the guy she needs answers from. Here's another hidden weakness. Women often don't know how to handle a man who doesn't fold under emotional pressure. Most guys get defensive or overly emotional when a woman withdraws. But when you stay grounded, when you don't mirror her emotional swings, you shift the dynamic completely. It's like trying to push a wall. She expects you to lean in when she pulls away. But when you don't, when you stay still, she has to recalibrate. She starts wondering what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and most importantly, why you're not reacting. And the truth is, the less you react, the more she reflects. That quiet strength, that calm self-respect, forces her to sit with her own feelings instead of projecting them onto you. Let's go even deeper. Women have another soft spot they rarely talk about, and that's their attraction to unpredictability. Not chaos, not immaturity, but emotional unpredictability in a man who's otherwise stable. Think about it. If you always reply fast, always say yes, always behave the same, she knows what to expect. And when she knows what to expect, the mystery dies. Attraction fades. But if you're sometimes warm, sometimes neutral, if you're supportive but also focused on your own life, if you're present one day and a little distant the next, she can't fully figure you out. And that drives her crazy in the best way. It keeps her invested. Because now she's wondering what mood you're in, what you're thinking, and if she's still the one capturing your attention. This isn't about playing games. It's about keeping your individuality. A woman's hidden weakness is that she falls hardest, not for the guy who makes her the center of his world, but the one who keeps himself at the center of his. She doesn't want to orbit your life. She wants to earn a place in it. That journey, that tension, that emotional uncertainty, that's what builds real attraction. So when you take care of your goals, when you stay disciplined, when you show that no woman, no matter how beautiful, can pull you off your path, she sees you as a man with purpose, and that makes her want you more. Because deep down, women don't want to lead. They want to follow a man who knows exactly where he's going. Now let's talk about boundaries. Women are secretly drawn to men who enforce them without hesitation, not in a controlling way, but in a way that says, I respect myself too much to tolerate nonsense. The truth is, most guys are too scared to draw the line. They let disrespect slide. They let flaking slide. They ignore red flags because they don't want to lose her. But what they don't realize is this. Every time you ignore bad behavior, you lower your value in her eyes. Because if you don't protect your standards, why should she respect them? That's another hidden weakness. Women actually crave men who call them out. Not to fight with them, but to ground them. When you calmly say, that's not okay with me, and you mean it, she may not like it in the moment, but she'll respect you more. And respect, in a woman's mind, is the foundation of desire. This is what separates men who get chased from men who get ghosted. It's not looks, money, or charm. It's energy. It's how you carry yourself. It's how you respond when she pushes your buttons. A woman's hidden weakness is that her attraction is tied to your emotional discipline. Can you stay calm when she gets dramatic? Can you say no without explaining yourself? Can you let her go if she's not matching your effort? If the answer is yes, you'll always have the upper hand. Not to control her, but to protect yourself. Because the moment she senses that you won't chase, won't beg, and won't break character to please her, she starts wondering what it'll take to win you over again. There's one more hidden weakness that's huge, but hardly anyone talks about. And it's this. Women are deeply affected by how a man handles his own past. I'm not just talking about emotional baggage, but the way you own your story. Most women are wired to respect men who show they've grown from their past, who aren't haunted by old mistakes, and who don't look to her to fix them. When a man carries himself with confidence, scars and all, it sends a silent message. I'm whole on my own. That kind of energy is magnetic. It makes her feel safe, like she's not signing up to save a sinking ship. Instead, she's joining a man who's already afloat, steering his own course. You see, the moment a man starts begging for validation, or constantly apologizing for who he was, he weakens his position. That weakness creeps in, even if she doesn't say it out loud. It triggers doubts about stability and reliability. But when a man embraces his past mistakes with calm acceptance and shows he's moved on without resentment, it's a signal that he's emotionally mature, and emotional maturity is incredibly attractive to women. It's one of those hidden things that don't get talked about much, but it shapes attraction more than looks or even charm. Let's wrap this up. If you look at these 7 hidden weaknesses, emotional sensitivity to indifference, reaction to quiet strength, craving unpredictability mixed with stability, respect for firm boundaries, attraction to emotional discipline, and respect for owning your past, you see a pattern. Women aren't looking for perfection. They're looking for realness, mixed with a little mystery and a lot of confidence. They want a man who stands firm, who knows his worth, and who isn't afraid to let her come to him. Because when you stop chasing, when you stop bending over backward to please, you suddenly become the prize. The guy who sets the terms. The guy who doesn't need her validation, but values what she brings to the table. So many men get this backwards. They think they need to be more available, more attentive, more eager. But that just makes you look desperate and predictable. Instead, focus on your life, protect your energy, and keep your boundaries tight. Use these hidden weaknesses to your advantage, not to manipulate, but to understand what really makes attraction tick beneath the surface. When you do that, you're not just playing the game, you're mastering it. And the last truth you need to remember, attraction isn't about being someone you're not. It's about amplifying your best self by understanding these hidden truths. Once you do, you'll notice how the dynamic changes, how she starts investing more, chasing less, and respecting you like never before. That's the power of knowing what most men don't. If you want to see how to put these secrets into action in real situations, watch the next video now.